Following up on the last gas thermometer Sudoku, here's another, also by full deck and missing a few cards. There's such an archive of puzzles, I think I'm going to stick with them for a good while. You've got really beautiful puzzles. This is the same set of rules, except we've got these white Kropki dots, which is digits and cells separated by a white dot are consecutive to one another. So the thermos is that the bulb is the lowest digit and it strictly increases along its way to the tip. Let's give it a go. Okay, so immediately we have some long thermometers, two in particular of length 7 and one of length 6, although it has a constraint that it can't contain a 3. So in effect it's as constrained as a thermometer of length 7 would be off the bat. There's also something interesting going on here. And it's going to limit, this is nice. So thermometers of length 7, perhaps I can pencil mark in one of them and we can see, right, well they're all gonna not have 3 in them at the start, but I'll leave it there for now. It won't actually impact what comes afterwards. The same will be true of this thermometer. And this is slightly more constrained. This could be 4. And notice that we have this triple here. I think this is nice because this is a Kropki dot next to one of the triple members. And if this was a 9, for example, then adjacent to it we'd need to place an 8. But then where would we place an 8 in the rest of the box? These 3 boxes already contain all of 7, 8 and 9. Similarly, if this was an 8, then this would either be a 7 or a 9 and the same problem applies. So we have a 7 here and a 6 here being the only option, and that actually tells us everything we need to know about this thermos. It's a 7 length thermos which ends in a 7, and I think that's going to fix us a lot, probably all of these actually, just looking at the black of the red and blue digits. That could still be 7 and 8, 8 and 9, although could it be, well, I think there's some restriction here. Not that we need it, because the middle thermos will actually fix it, but this Kropki digit I'm sure gives some nice restriction there. But we don't need it because it's resolved using the second thermos, and that's how we're going to look. Now this Kropki digit cannot be a 7 because it sees a 7, it has to be a 9. Meaning that we can't have any more thermometers over here ending in 9. And these can't end in 6 and 7. Actually, these can't end in 5, 6 or 7. And it's of length 5. Right. Similarly, this can't end in 6, 7, 8 or 9, and it's of length 5. So this, the highest this could be is 5. Could it be a 4? Well, that would make this a 3, a 2 and a 1, and you'd need a 0, and even though it's on the screen, it's not legal. So that's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this is really falling into place nicely. So this can't be 5, 6, 7, or just those for now. 5, 6, or 7. It could be 8 or 9. It cannot be a 4, well, because it sees a 4, but even then it's too long to be a 4. So it has to be an 8 or a 9 here. The starting digit is constrained as well. It can be a 4, an 8, or a 9. Is that all? It sees 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and an 8 and 9 is simply too high, so it has to be a 4. And I think that actually fixes... Oh, it doesn't actually, no, it doesn't fix it. This is 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. It just about gets by. Since this is adjacent to those, in principle for now it could be anything from 6 to 9. With exception to 6 because of this. This could still be 7 and 8 though. Okay, I think this firmhouse is more restricted because it can't start with a 1, 2, 3. So the lowest it could start with is 4. It could start with a 5. It can't start with a 6. It could start... Oh, we've put a 7 in the corner, of course. So it starts with a 4, 5, 6. Following that, we have possibilities of 5, but not of 6 and 7. The next possible digit is 8. This could be a 6. It can't be an 8 or a 9, but it could be a 7. Right, since this can't be 9, then this middle digit can't be 8 possibly. That wouldn't make sense. We couldn't increase it. So it has to be 5. That fixes 4 at the start, and we're left with the uncertainty on 6 and 7. And I feel as though we should have enough digits to really press through on just on Sudoku at this point. You'd hope. Although we do have a lot of repeated digits, and that is a bit of a problem. Let's do a little bit of work. So that's 3 over here, and 3 is over here. 3 is placed here, which resolves that immediately. If nothing else, it'll save us some time later on. 2 is placed in this square because it's in this middle row. Pardon, it's actually just over here, which is good. In this column, 2 is restricted to here, but 2 can't lie on the end of a thermometer, so that'll have to be 2. And we have a couple of columns which are starting to look rather full. I can't help the temptation but to look at them. This one is missing 6, 8 and 9. This has to be 9, which settles this entire thermometer. And also tells us the adjacent digit has to be 8. That leaves us with a 6 up here. And surely we are away now. Surely that's all that we really needed to crack into this. Can't count. Okay. So we either have a 1 here or here, because one is seeing these and one can't lie in the second place on a thermometer. Similarly, one is one of these two. So one lies in the middle over on this side. But we can do better, we can resolve that because of these two ones. We've got a given digit here and it's an 8. And I think we might be able to do a little bit of unwinding on the 8s. Perhaps. Although not a complete one. That wasn't what I was supposed to say. 8. Okay. Let's look at 5s. 5 does have to go there because of these two. Five is placed there then, and that gives us our 5 in the corner. 5's not on the thermometer is a great piece of information to know. Let's actually look at this square, because these are a lot of digits. What's not included there is 3, 9, and 4. Well, that can't be 9, because it's in the middle of the thermometer and it sees a 4, so it has to be a 3. Similarly, 4 and 9 is left, and that has to be the 9, that has to be the 4. We're going to have a 2 and a 3 in some order, and that's the 3 and that's the 2, and things really are starting to piece together very nicely. This has to be a 2 because it can't be a 1. Let's finish this up. This is going to be a 4 by Sudoku, which places a 4 here. The 4s are complete. So we have a 9, a 1, a 1, and a 7. 7 can continue to be placed around the park, meaning these are all relatively fixed and stable now. These ones especially are just given, but I have to be able to spot what they are, so it always takes a bit of time, for me at least. Bear with me. There's a bear with me. There's a 2 in those, and we know that 2 has to go there. 9 has to go there. And we truly are wrapping up nicely. That's a 7, 6, 8, 6, 8, and 7. Okay, that's a bit of a better solve. I think it was very restricted from the start, so definitely an easier puzzle, I think, than the last one. Yeah, a nice, clean, pretty Sudoku.